Yeah, so they've been banged up and beat up. I think for normal humans, if you're missing something or something's broke, they have a hard time walking, but they're guys that are able to go out there and play. But it's like with anything, they're so strong and, freakish at what they do that they're able to kind of compensate if they do have any ailment. And so, but Landon's, I think even in college, he's played with torn, I think MCL, meniscus tear. I mean, he's not going down. Yeah.
So talking about the Chiefs defensively, how do you prepare for Spags' defense with all the blitz, all the kind of, pre-snap movement, disguise, and things like that? Like, how do you get ready for that?
Yeah. There are some tell signs, but I feel like they do a good job of really disguising it. They do everything, and they make it look vanilla. They make it all look the same. So, but for us, if there's any change in alignments or anything, that can help. But they're really good tacklers. I mean, they don't miss. They do a good job of, I feel like they're keys. They're quick. So if you're not right on your points or any of that, there's guys getting tackled in the backfield. And so that's really what it does. They do a good job of moving on a chain sometimes and making it difficult for the center.
So you talked about Chris Jones a little bit. I love him as a rusher. Historically, 3 technique, but he moves the outside and he lines up a tight 5 technique. Does that make you uncomfortable as a tackle when you have a bigger body who's used to rushing inside, kind of in those tight alignments?
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that can do it. I'm surprised they didn't put Aaron Donald out there more because I think he would have had, the same success, if not more. But, JJ did it earlier in his career. He was more inside, but started doing a little bit of both. Chris is just so long. He's 6'5", 6'6", super long. And he does get, I think, very tight to tackles. He wants them to jump them, and he's very good with his hands. And he's a very savvy player that knows how to set people up.
Does that change your set point a little bit when you have a guy who's like bigger body, inside guy, line up tight on?
Yeah, I mean, he's very good with his hands. So there's sometimes when to be patient and really wait for him. He does a good job of grabbing your wrist, and he's aiming for that. And, if you try to jump set him, he does a good job of getting real skinny and not giving you any surface area to hit and bending the edge. So, but he does a good job of setting guys up.
Good man, baby. Fucking ball out.
Jordan told us a story about Saquon promising you guys Rolexes, and then a few months later when he got the rushing record, actually going through and buying them. And Jordan was like, I forgot he promised us that. But can you speak to the kind of man that Saquon is and why it feels like this offensive line wants to play and play for him on some level?
Yeah, I just think the main aspect is, he's human. He's down to earth. He feels very egoless around us, even though he is the player that he is. So, I think that's what that drives us. It definitely helps. He's a great teammate off the field. But when you have somebody with that type of ability, I think it elevates everybody and pushes them to, to play better and play harder, and knowing that you have a guy that can do those types of things back there.
They asked you a little bit about Cam and Landon, but I was thinking about them arguing on the sidelines about who's less injured. Yeah. What does that say about those two guys in that NFC Championship moment, that they want to be the one out there and they're willing to fight there so much?
Yeah, getting to this point, sometimes you got to pay the price. I've paid. There's been a lot of guys pay, and but no, I mean, they're tough. I mean, that's a big reason why they're here. I think we do a good job of drafting players that have, been through adversity, or, so they kind of have an idea of what's going to happen at this level. Landon's had a bunch of them in college, and here he is. I mean, he's so big and athletic. I think he's able to compensate through some of those, and just like Cam, they can play through it.
Yeah, 21-game season for you guys. That's a lot.
It's fun. Good thing they're reducing to 18.
If you were a UFC fighter, what would your walkout song be?
I'd probably ask for the Halo song like Mike Perry, and then they play Beyonce. You remember that?
I do. I remember.
Mike Perry.
Yeah, in the Apex. Was it in the Apex? That was a while.
And then he started singing it.
He just rolled with the punches.
Yeah, he did, man.
And also, too, what advice do you have for high school and maybe college athletes who are looking to not only get better, but what about their bulking routine? You always hear about the bulking routine. What was your bulking routine like?
Well, we got like 1,300 calorie shakes by Steph, our nutritionist. So you do that in meals, and whenever you get to college, if you don't make your weight, you get punished. And when you get to the NFL, you get punished even more. It's like $800 a pound that you're over or under. So, yeah.
$800 a pound in the NFL?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, what about college? How'd you get punished then?
If you're underweight, they'd make you stay there until you achieved your weight. And if you're overweight, they would run you until you lost all that weight and you were in weight.
To do that?
I've had to chug shakes before because I was under. I was hardly ever over. I was never over. But under, yes. I've had to sit there, be 6 pounds under, and chug 6 pounds of protein shakes.
No more of that then, I assume.
No more. Yeah, I mean, it's easier when you get 34. I mean, it all slows down. Your metabolism slows down. So it's a new reality now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lane, first of all, you must be like a dentist's best friend. How does someone get Lane Johnson teeth?
Veneers. They're in Manhattan, so.
Oh man.
No,
Hollywood smile, man.
Yeah, well, I never wore a mouthpiece, and so over the years I chipped my front teeth pretty good, grinding them or biting in the game. So after a couple of chipped teeth, I had to get some new ones, and so they hooked me up good, man.
They did. So obviously you guys are the beefiest line, but also the most personable, I think, in the league. I asked Jordan this thing too. After football, where does he see you guys on this current team excelling in life? He said you were to be the biggest star, and you'd be either a star podcast host or a wrestler. What do you think about what?
I would definitely want to be more podcasting than, in another lifetime, the wrestling would have worked out. Would have been another dream, but. Yeah, definitely. I could lay low and be a funny man on the mic, say some funny stuff. But
do you think anyone else on the line here has the potential to be a star, in another field?
Landon, DIY, doing all the home improvement stuff. That's all he does. I mean, he's fixing cars, trucks, HVACs, any of that type of stuff. He knows, and he knows well.
Won't ask him that. Hey, thanks.
Teams run a lot of exotic blitzes and stuff, so how do you guys stay prepared for whatever they're going to throw at you?
Yeah, they do a good job of making everything look very similar and not giving away any signs, but there are some signs, and, for us, they do a good job of, I think disguising their stuff to the last minute. So the last game they were waiting until we turned around to kind of adjust and do last-minute adjustments to try to throw off your call. So they'll bring those exotics and try to mess up the center's protection point so they get a free, guy off the edge or through the middle. That's why they're doing that, and it is hard, especially when they do it that late and are able to, still keep it on and everybody on the same page.
Clayton, obviously this is the third time you've been in the Super Bowl. What toll does it take on a team, or maybe even on an individual player, like getting there, whether you win or lose, and then trying to climb that mountain again? You know what I mean? I mean, you guys are here for the second time in 3 years. This is their third year in a row.
Yeah.
Like, what is that demand of a player and a team to keep climbing that mountain year after year after year?
It goes down to what type of character guys are you drafting? Are you drafting guys that care about money, or are you drafting guys that really love football? So, all that stuff comes along with it. There's a reason these guys have been here. They're excellent both sides of the ball. They don't make many mistakes. They, any turnovers they get, they capitalize on. And so for us, I thought we had some moments where we played well offensively last year, but we didn't finish the job. So for us, being in this position again and having the opportunity to play this team again is awesome. But at the same time, we need to focus in and understand that, blocking and tackling and all that and protecting the ball, that's what wins the games, and we got to improve on this time around.
Last one, and then we're done.
Yeah, the way last year ended, like that kind of thing can really splinter a team. It could fracture, permanently fracture. Why did this group, was able to come back together
well, it's an extreme motivator whenever you might start a season like that and the way it finishes. So. For us, it was about, where do we go from here? What adjustments can we make? Like we did a great job, obviously, getting people like Saquon, which it helps. The draft, getting players that are able to play well right away. All those factors have helped in.
You
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's not playing special teams anymore. He's playing linebacker.
You got to the Super Bowl in spite of guys like Zach Bond.
Yeah. So turns out he can play more in special teams.